RJ likes it. So good, we're going to give you several of them, and you can give them out to your friends. The next thing you know, we can transform our country. When they took God out of our public schools, our whole country kind of fell apart. They started abortion, they started the drug epidemic, they started sexually transmitted diseases, crime went through the roof, everything went wrong. But now, with this book, we can turn it all around. And people like RJ are the key, and you're the key. So if you could give us a call right now, 893-2444, and we'll get you started. There is a purpose to life. There's something worth living for, and this book is an important part of it. So we'd like you to give us a call right now, and we'll get this out to you, and you can give it out to all your friends and start a change for the better. We'll lead you to be in a certain profession later. Do you have a profession?
Yes, sir. I have actually a couple I want to be.
Really?
Yes, sir. I play baseball right now. God willing, me make it to the MLB. But if God has another plan, I want to be an orthopedic surgeon.
That's great. Well, I've got a bad knee. I might have to work on it. So anyway, I think we've gone through all of those. And the activist mommy, who's quite an outstanding lady, her name is Elizabeth Johnson, and she's going to be here in Louisville on Saturday, August 24th for a banquet. And it's going to be held at the Marriott East on Embassy Square Boulevard. It's going to be a dinner. The doors open at 5:30, dinner's at 6, and at 6:45 the program begins, and it's going to be a tremendous program. We'd like to see you there and have you be a part of it. That's a tremendous thing. RJ, we really appreciate you going through all of this. Let's see what it says. The fact that you, RJ, are letting God lead you life shows how you value God and Jesus in your life. That's true. God's way is the best way.
It is.
That's right.
The only way.
It's something that we all can do. Someone said to me once, well, I can't do everything. He said, well, you don't have to do everything, but you can do something. And with God's help, you can do what God has called you to do. So give us a call right now, 893-2444. This is a tremendous opportunity, and the price is right? It's free. Like I say, we've already handed out about 300, and we'd like to get out another 1,000 right away quick. So give us a call, and RJ, you saw it. You like the comic book. It's easy to read, and it's got a lot of good messages in it. So it's something I think everybody can do this. Hand it out. RJ is our hero, and he's started doing this right away already. You went through your neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
See, so that's tremendous. Anybody can do this, and you just give us a call. And if you want to go to this banquet, the number to call is the same number that it is to get the book. That's area code 502-893-2444. We're about out of time. Got anything else you want to say?
No, sir. Thank you for having me.
Well, you've got a wonderful mom.
Yeah, I guess. I'm kidding. And ask for better.
That's right. And your dad, I know your dad too, so that's terrific. We all need to work together. Everybody is important. And God has a calling for your life. The number is area code 502-893-2444. And with God's help, we can put God back in our schools and our young people and turn our whole country around to God. Well, God bless you, RJ. I really appreciate you're the hero because you're doing all the heavy lifting around here.
All God. It's all God.
Yeah, we need a few more people to help us. So God bless you. Give us a call right now, 502-893-2444. God bless you, and tune in again next week for the rest of the news. Thank you, RJ. God bless.
Hi, I'm Dr. Frank Simon. I'm an allergist and family doctor, board certified in both allergy and internal medicine. I specialize in allergy, headaches, sinus, hives, cough, asthma, hypertension, and diabetes. We're located at 1404 Browns Lane near Norton Suburban Hospital. Our phone number is 895-5088. We can see you tomorrow.
Thanks for tuning in to the rest of the news. Our special guest tonight is Ernie Pack. And Ernie, tell us a little more about yourself.
Well, I'm one of the founders of the Kentuckiana Conservative Action Group. We're a small but growing group out in southwest Jefferson County. We meet the third Tuesday of every month out at La Coretta's restaurant on Dixie Highway. We work with political campaigns, both local and state, and even planning to work with the Trump campaign in the upcoming 2020 election. And we're trying to turn the tide a bit redder.
More pro-America. This program today is going to be about the headline on this magazine called The Verdict that is put out by Judicial Watch. And the headline reads, FBI found Hillary emails she tried to destroy or hide in the Obama White House. This is a little video clip.
In today's story, we go deep and uncover new evidence from former FBI official who confirms Hillary Clinton emails were found in the Obama White House. And thanks for tuning in, folks. Welcome to the Epoch News. I'm Angela Anderson. This story is written by Mark Tapscott. In Washington, the FBI former Assistant Director for Counterintelligence, Bill Priestap, admitted that messages to and from former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton on her private email system were found in the Obama White House. Government watchdog Judicial Watch announced on Tuesday. Priestap also admits the FBI found nearly 49,000 emails from the private Clinton email system on the laptop computer owned by former Representative Anthony Weiner, who was the husband of Huma Abedin, Clinton's deputy chief of staff and longtime close personal aide. Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton said in a statement announcing Priestap's admission, "This astonishing confirmation made under oath by the FBI shows the Obama FBI had to go to President Obama's White House office to find emails that Hillary Clinton tried to destroy or hide from the American people." Fitton added, "No wonder Hillary Clinton has thus far skated. Barack Obama is implicated in her email scheme." Priestap also included the Executive Office of the President in a list he provided in writing and under oath by Judicial Watch in a written interrogatory that the FBI executive was ordered by a federal court to answer. In the first of 10 questions in the inquiry, Judicial Watch asked Priestap to identify all former Clinton aides and government agencies where the FBI found the messages to and from her private email system. In addition to the Executive Office of the President in the Obama White House, Priestap said such emails were found from the State Department, the Secret Service, and the Williams & Connolly LLP law firm, as well as Clinton aides Brian Pagliano, Cheryl Mills, Heather Samuelson, Jacob Sullivan, and Justin Cooper. Priestap said the list he provided was not comprehensive and that messages from other individuals and government agencies may also have been found, but he did not recall them at the time of the inquiry. Priestap's combative responses to the 10 questions from Judicial Watch required 17 pages and included multiple objections, some to point out as to whether a question had one or two parts. The FBI executive's responses, as well as those from a number of individuals, were ordered on January 15, 2019 by U.S. District Court Judge Royce C. Lamberth in a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit first filed by Judicial Watch.
Gives you a general idea of what's happening. As we were talking earlier, the plot is getting thicker, isn't it?
It is. It seems like the roots are just kind of spreading throughout the Obama administration.
More and more like a noose tightening around the neck of some of these big shots in the left-wing movement. They found a lot of Hillary's
emails that she said she had destroyed are hidden in Obama's White House.
Why were they there? Was he shielding them for her?
It was Obama that appointed all of the head of the FBI,
Head of the CIA, the head of the NSA.
yeah, all of these. And they were all kind of in a scheme to get rid of the president.
Yes, and protect Hillary. Their first priority was to protect Hillary. Once they had insulated her from prosecution or consequences, then they went after Trump. And they're still going after Trump with no basis in reality.
People talk about that. If you could say this was traitorous action.
Treason is a big word that comes with a big penalty. A really big penalty. You talked about a noose. That's exactly what comes with treason. But this, it's right up there. It's about as bad of a political controversy as this country has ever seen, if not the worst we've ever seen.
The media is right in the middle of the whole thing.
They're complicit in the whole thing. They've been blowing smoke and misdirection and misinformation to the American public for the past 3+ years. I'm curious to see how it's all going to shake out when the facts are all brought to light, how the media tries to backtrack and paint themselves in a good light again.
Now, here is a statement from Judicial Watch. Again, it says, the news that Obama Department of Justice gave immunity to Heather Samuelson, Hillary Clinton's lawyer responsible for the infamous deletion of 33,000 emails, further confirms the sham FBI Department of Justice investigation in the Clinton emails. In other words, the main culprit was given immunity. Say, oh, that's okay.
Exactly. I don't know. It's comical, but it's not. When you look at all of the times that heads were turned and things were ignored just to cover for Hillary Clinton and Barack Hussein Obama, it's criminal. It's nothing short of criminal.
It's all catching up with Obama, too, because he appointed all of these FBI heads and CIA, and then they used them for political purposes.
You can go back and look at some of those text messages between the FBI agent Peter Strzok and his girlfriend, Lisa Page. They talk about the big man's going to want to know about this. He was in on it from the beginning, the puppet master, if you would, in my opinion, pulling all the strings to see to it that Hillary was protected and they could find whatever they could use against Donald Trump possible to keep him out of the White House.
As I think about this, it seems to me that there are two political parties in America, and one is trying to improve America, lower taxes, better GPS,
better job growth, stronger military,
and
strong borders,
and
strong morals.
And the other party is trying to have open borders, more taxes, more unemployment, doing everything they can basically to prepare America for socialism.
They're dismantling the Constitution one day at a time if they're allowed to continue. The majority in the Senate is still held by Republicans. Largely, those Republicans are conservative enough that they are sticking to the Constitution.
Yeah. It seems to me that all the Muslims in the United States government that are elected came from one party. So again, that tells you a little bit about this party. And I remember a couple of years ago at one of the conventions, they tried to take God out of their entire platform.
They've effectively done it now.
Unbelievable.
I was raised a Democrat. My dad was a Democrat. My dad was actually a delegate at Democratic National Convention. He was a big union guy, but he was a Kennedy Democrat. If John F. Kennedy were running today for office, there is no doubt in my mind he would run as a Republican because the Democratic Party has just left so many Americans behind with their hard left turn in recent years. And I do believe that there are a lot of people out there who are still registered Democrat, but there's no way that they can follow and agree with what the Democratic Party is all about today.
It's amazing how the Democrat Party has turned away from most of the American people. Someone told me that the Catholics in the last election voted for Trump rather than Hillary, that swing made Trump win the election.
That would make perfect sense to me. Yes, he lost the popular vote. He did not win the popular vote, but we all know where all those votes came from. 4 counties in New York and California. Had it not been for the Catholic vote largely going toward Trump, we would have had Hillary Clinton in the White House right now, and Lord knows how bad a shape this country would be in.
I think abortion was the main determinant factor in the Catholics voting against Hillary, because she was so strongly, and still is, strongly pro-abortion. Like
Right.
you say, New York has legalized abortion right up to the time of birth.
We could have a whole series of radio shows devoted solely to discussing abortion. My views on it are plain and simple. It's murder. The Democratic Party seems to worry so much about the treatment of children at the border in these detention centers, yet they're willing to just let a child die after a failed abortion.
That's hard to believe.
It's hypocrisy. It's disgusting to me.
I saw that movie Unplanned.
I have not had a chance to see it. I've
Well,
heard
it is
so
really-
many people talking about it. I
It is
really
really-
want to see it.
Something the way that turned out. And they said that the social media tried to block all the ads for Unplanned. The public wouldn't know what was going on.
Typical.
Yeah.
It's the leftist way.
Now, here we have a book. It's a book called Truth for Youth. And it's a book, the first 100 pages are comics. I keep thinking back to the time that Khrushchev got up and beat on the table and said, "We're going to bury America." And
Right.
he wrote down how he's going to do it. And somebody named Cleon Skousen wrote it into a book called The Naked Communist. And he wrote down some like 30 steps. This, or one of the first steps was to remove God from the public schools. The prayer, the Bible, the 10 Commandments, and creation science. Get rid of God. And then he says, well, then America will fall like an overripe fruit.
Right.
And he's almost done that.
To bring this kind of full circle back to
Yeah.
where we started, you look at the writings of Saul Alinsky. He was the big hero of one Hillary Rodham. One of her greatest accomplishments as a college student was to bring Saul Alinsky to speak at the University of Arkansas. Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, where the forward is dedicated to Lucifer. It just talks about how to tear down
A country.
this country. They're following those rules still today. Thank God we have Trump in the White House fighting against it. Still got a few conservatives out there that are carrying the banner for us. They're trying.
Someone once said that the left-wingers are not after Trump so much as you and me, and Trump's just in their way.
It's true.
This book was written by Tim Todd, who is executive director of Revival Fires International. And he's gotten rid of 2.5 million copies of this Bible. And the idea is to get it to young people who will take it to school and give it out to their friends in the school and get God and the 10 Commandments, the Bible, back into the public school. One of the consequences of removing God from the public schools is that the academic achievement of American schools, which used to be the top in the world, has now fallen to one of the worst in the Western world. Get this back into the public schools. And the back cover of this book is written by Matt Staver, who says, children have a right to give this out in the school. If anyone tries to stop him, he'll defend them in court.
Nice.
For free. He's one of the top attorneys in the country. So we would like to send this out to our listeners who would be able to take it and give it to other students. The number to call is 895-5025. If you call that number right now, 895-5025, we will send you a copy of this book so that you can start the process of getting this out into all the public schools, at least in Kentucky. Really, we'd like to get it out all across America. So if you could, give us a call right now, 895-5025, and we'll get this out. We can turn this thing around.
We really need to. Going back to Saul Alinsky, one of the things that he talked about was controlling the education, infiltrating the educators with left-minded educators, and they've done that. Public schools have become, in most cases, nothing more nor less than a liberal indoctrination program.
Exactly
from the top down. And that is destroying our youth. You can say what you want about the millennials and the youth of today. They're kids. You can't necessarily blame them, but they are so misled these days. And it starts with the public schools.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd like to get these out there free. We'll send them to them for free. The number again is 895-5025. Now we're in Louisville, so that is area code 502. That same number, 895-5025. 895-5025. So we'll get that out to you. I think we're about out of time, so we'll have to call it done pretty soon. But this whole thing about Judicial Watch is going viral, and there's more and more to come.
They have been like a dog after a bone on this from the beginning, and I hope that they don't stop. They're doing good work for the American people. That, along with the book Clinton Cash, and the writer of it, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but they are still digging and still coming up with more and more every day. And eventually this is all going to come to a head.
That's it. Someone said the truth will find you out.
In Hillary's case, I don't know if the truth will set her free. It might be quite the opposite.
This is going forward all the time. Every time you turn around, there's more information coming out about this. You just can't keep it undercover. Don't forget to call us right now, 895-5025, and we'll send you a copy of this book. Get it out to the children. Now, you and I can't give these out in the schools, but children can. The key is get the children involved, getting this type of material out.
I've got a 13-year-old conservative son that would love to have one of those.
Here you go.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Simon.
Everybody's important. Everybody has to do part of the work. Nobody can do it all. So if we all get together, like your meeting, tell us again where.
It's at La Coretta's restaurant in Valley Station on Dixie Highway, kind of across from Valley High School, behind the KFC there. There's a little strip mall back there. And we meet the third Tuesday of every month. We're meeting this Tuesday. We have guest speakers in. We've had the governor in. We've had all of the candidates for state office. We had Angela lead in several times back during the mayoral race, which, gosh, I wish she would have won. I think this week we're having Mitch McConnell's opponent in the primary for next election. We're trying to get Allison Ball on the schedule. Michael Adams, who's running for Secretary of State, is going to be coming up in the next couple of months. Daniel Cameron, we're working with his people to try to get him in. We had Mike Harmon in last month. We're pretty busy.
That's great. Well, see, that's what it takes. Everybody, I remember somebody said, well, I can't do everything. He says, well, we're not asking you to do everything, but you can do something. And with God's help, you can do what you can do.
Our mission statement is to educate, engage, and empower folks with conservative values. And that's what we've been trying to do out there. We volunteer on political campaigns and walk the streets and knock on the doors, stick the door signs or the yard signs out. We're not all talk and no action. Why, action's in the name of the group.
Well, Ernie Pack, good to see you and have you on. Tune in again next week for the rest of the news.
You need to do your fighting in prayer.
You've been a good enough father. I don't want to be a good enough father.
Let's go, let's go!
The town's oldest manufacturing plant is closing its doors.
Most of my players have parents that work at the plant. This ain't gonna be pretty.
I'm down 3 coaches, but I do think I have a solution for cross country.
No, I don't even like running.
Don't die. Don't die.
Cross country's not even a real sport.
Why would anyone want to do this?
I'm just impressed that you finished.
You are my best option.
Y'all here for tryouts?
No, sir. We're just hanging out.
Hey, are you here for cross country?
Yes, sir.
I had one girl show up and she's got asthma.
Oh, you mean Hannah Scott. Do you enjoy running?
It's really the only thing I'm good at.
Why have a season with one runner?
One runner matters.
Thomas, you got time for a visit?
Hello, coach. So you changed sports, and you still got no team. Well, that's sad even for me.
I get it. You have to coach cross country, but it's not the end of the world.
For someone who knows the Lord, you're acting like somebody who doesn't.
You give some very inspirational speeches to your players about stepping up under pressure and going the extra mile.
Anna, getting faster.
Your life is worth so much more than this.
To who?
When you find your identity in the one who created you, it'll change your whole perspective.
Hello and welcome to the rest of the news. I'm Frank Simon. Guest today is Jim Waters, who is the CEO of the Bluegrass Institute, which is a free market think tank in Bowling Green and all over the state.
All over the state. We started in Bowling Green 16 years ago. Senator Rand Paul, who wasn't senator then, he was Dr. Rand Paul, encouraged us and helped us get started, and other people too. So we started there, but we've become a statewide free market organization. Part of, by the way, the State Policy Network, which has an entire network, Dr. Simon, of these free market groups around the country. So every state now, every state has a Bluegrass Institute. They're not all called Bluegrass Institute, but every state has a free market think tank that deals with issues in that state. We have some great national organizations like the Heritage Foundation. We're the Kentucky version, if you will, of the Heritage Foundation. Our focus is on Kentucky policy issues.
Now, I understand that you were recently at the White House.
Yeah.
What did President Trump have to say?
Yeah, so we were there, and what he wanted to do was get the message out about the progress that's been made in cleaning up our environment. So many times what you hear from the radical left, the fake news as he calls it, and the left-wingers and the mainstream media is that, mainstream. And they're not all, I said the left-wingers. But so often what you hear is we're not doing anything, that we're terrible to the environment, we're harming our land, air, and water, and we're not making any progress. You never hear about the progress that's being made. So President Trump called several policy experts across the nation together. I was fortunate to be included in that group and to be there for really his first major policy speech or a major policy speech on the environment. I've been told it's really the first one that he's given in that setting. We weren't sure how big this was going to be on the radar, but the cabinet secretaries that were there, we had a chance to speak with Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao, who's Senator Mitch McConnell's wife, and other cabinet secretaries. There were other elected officials there, and then, of course, President Trump himself. There's nothing like being in the East Room of the White House when they start playing Hail to the Chief. It was an amazing day. He made a couple of important points that I think conservatives need to understand. We don't need to be on the defensive about environmental policy in our country.